Gonna get my Zoom on recording here. Perfect. Welcome. Happy Friday. Friday, December 20th. So usually I come in on Friday mornings around 8 o'clock, but I think I might change it up a little bit and see if I come at lunchtime, if that is easier for some people to jump on and be part of the broadcast, which would be absolutely awesome. So before we get started, I'm Pam Drzwicki. I'm the owner of Powerful Purpose. And what I do is I'm a productivity coach. So I basically help female entrepreneurs and business owners get things done. Get things done in their lives, their businesses, or their careers, whatever. Most of us are feeling overwhelmed with things that need to get done. And having somebody to help you sort out all of the different particulars is what I do. Keep you accountable, design your action plan, and moving forward. And I just absolutely love that. So I'm here today to talk about, if you're on, please give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're here. So excited. I love having interaction during these times. I come on between 20 and 30 minutes. And today, what I'm going to be talking about is how to complete a task and own it. Okay, so my power word this week was complete, which is very, very fitting for this time of year. Getting complete on everything that I need to get done in my personal life, my business life, completing up 2019, getting ready to complete my planning for 2020, at least the first quarter. I like doing an overall big planning, using my roadmap to sanity for the whole year, and then plan 90 days at a time from there. So right now I'm in the process of designing my 90-day plan, which will be completed during Christmas and New Year's. So I'm really, really excited for all the great things that are coming up. So today, how to complete a task and own it. And in the morning, I always came to you with different mugs that I have. And I'm not having a cup of coffee this morning or this afternoon because I already had my coffee. So, but I am going to share this mug with you that a cousin of mine sent. A big shout out to Demi. When I received this in the mail, it just warmed my heart. It says, "Live with purpose." And on the top, it says, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." Phillippians 4:13 on the top, which is awesome. It gives me a lot of power and a lot of strength. So that's my coffee mug that I want to share with you today. If anybody has any kind of mugs that they want to share, feel free and reach out to me because I would love to share your business or what sparks you, okay? What energizes you in your purpose, so we could keep away from all of the circumstances that tries to get in our way while we're building and designing a life that we truly love. And while we're doing that, it's all about building that foundation of yourself. Your spiritual foundation is such a key element. And then your foundation of your self-discovery of who you are, how you're showing up, the people you want to surround yourself with, okay? So all these important tips. As always, go out to my website at powerful-purpose.com. Under resource tabs, there's always some free stuff that you could download to help you through that process. And at the end, I'll be putting in there, in the comments on the Facebook Live, the link to 6 steps, my ebook, 6 steps to set your goals and keep them. Okay, that you could download and get you started on that. So I am one that truly loves quotes. And I love researching the people that talk about those quotes. So there's this philosopher from the 1800s, and his first name is Marcus. And he wrote this quote, which I thought was really fitting for what I'm going to be talking about today. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realizing this, and you will find the strength, right? So just like I said, like living your life inside those purpose and not driven by your circumstances. And in the past, I've talked about how important it is to surround yourself with the right people and the dream team to help elevate you. And that your brain is a muscle and we need to work it and we need to be kind to it and tell it what we want. So when we're in our moments of meditation or prayer or our planning, we know exactly what that task is that we want to get done. Or maybe it's not a task. Maybe it's just something we want to create for our lives so our days are easier or our life is exactly living it the way we want to be. You know, I would say back 15 years ago, I would have never, ever, ever thought that I would be here. Ever thought I would be in the world and the life that I want right now, where I'm living right now. Is just absolutely amazing. My lifestyle is amazing. My relationship with my husband is amazing. My children are amazing. My career, my business is amazing. I never thought I would have all of this. And I have all of this because I dared to step out of the fear around the small thinking. The small thinking is what holds us back. Big thinking, small planning. And the small planning comes back to that word of completion, to feel complete. Okay? What is it? So, how do you complete a task and own it is the topic today. Motivation. What does motivation mean to you? Okay? What is the definition of motivation? Motivation definition is the mental push from you to accomplish an action. So in order to get that task or that item done, we need motivation. And what is that that motivates you? I know not giving up motivates me. I know stepping out of my comfort zone motivates me. Even though it doesn't feel good to be uncomfortable, I still love it afterwards. So I've owned what that's going to feel like afterwards, not as much owning the feeling before it happens. Because if I own the feeling before it happens, guess what? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen for me. Do you feel like that? Is that something that holds you back? Is that fear of completing that task? Like if I want to complete that task and if I get that task done, is somebody going to judge me because it wasn't done the way that they wanted to? So you just don't get it done. Or is it, if I want to complete that task, do I even have the knowledge to get that done? And if so, how do I start? So these are the things that would hold me back in the past. Like, I'm not worthy to do that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not an expert in that area, so I'm not going to show up there because who am I to think that I could own my own business? Or who am I to know how to help other women be productive, right? So stepping out of the fear and owning the experience on the other end, owning the result and not owning that feeling before you get that thing done, okay? So what is it? I want you to think about that. What is it that holds you back from moving forward and completing that task and owning the fact that you need to get that done? There's some things in our lives that, okay, so some people might want to jump out of planes. I don't own that. That is not a task that I want on my brain dump because I know that I don't want to own that. So think about that. What is that? What is it that will hold you back from getting that completed? Once we start thinking around the fact of what it is that's holding us back, because it really is all about a mindset when we're trying to get something done and owning that mindset. So say I'm meeting with a client and they're like, oh my gosh, Pam, you're out there all the time. You do Facebook Live, you do all these different things. It's not that I am not nervous about coming on and doing the Facebook Lives. So, but what it is that I don't own the fact that I'm nervous about that. I may feel it, I may talk about it a little bit, but what I ultimately do is own how I'm going to feel on the other side when I complete it. Okay? That's so exciting. Isn't that amazing? So, what holds you back? What are the things? Is it because you're overwhelmed and it's just too much to handle, so you don't even know where to start? Do you feel that way? Do you feel overwhelmed? Is it that you're overwhelmed and there's too much on your plate and you don't know how to set the boundaries and you've said yes to too many things? So now you're paralyzed and you don't even know where to start on that. And that goes to breaking things down smaller. Or is it because, you know what, that task that needs to be done is just boring? Say it's laundry, folding laundry. For me, that's boring. But what is the feeling that I get when I go into the laundry room, or there's all the baskets are empty and folded and put away? I own that feeling of completion on the other side of that task. Okay? So these tasks could be as small as emptying a dishwasher to as big as jumping out of a plane. It all depends. But it all takes the same process and the same steps to be productive around it. Okay? So breaking it down to what is it that really, really makes me want to get this done? Or what is it that really makes me hesitate on this? Because like I've said before, hesitation stalls our momentum. Now, that's a good thing or a bad thing. So if we're in a process of making a big decision, if we hesitate on that big decision, that ultimately may be a good decision because we're not rushing into it and we're taking our time to think about it. But then on the other side, we may be hesitating, and hesitation might be aligned with procrastination. And then we have to take a step back and say, why are we procrastinating on that? And that's not a good thing, procrastination. So when we go through this, that's the first part of getting things done and owning it. As always, I always mention, do your brain dumping. Unload everything that you want to get done. Circle the things that you want to own. So use your DEAR, delegate, execute, automate, recycle. Okay? Use that system to identify which items are going to get done. So ways that once you've done that, right, once you've gone through the process and identified what needs to get done, we have to start creating an action plan. So not getting caught up in the procrastination, because that occurs when something seems too big, right? So say you, I don't know, painting the downstairs of your house or painting your house, whatever a big job is, or it's you want to run a retreat or do a new course for your business. It's daunting when you think about the whole process that goes into it. So start with that big item and then start creating those action plans, the smaller plans that get you to those results. One of the things that I find really helps is clarity. So when you're writing everything down and you're going through that process, develop your clear thought around it. Bring exact clarity. When we have fogginess or that gray line in between things, it's really hard to see what that outcome is going to be or why we even feel we need to get this task done. A lot of times we say we need something done, and reality is it's just something we think we need done, and it's something we don't have to take care of. But once we start thinking about it and feeling around it, then what ends up happening is we could get it done, we could delegate it, we could execute it, we could automate it so it just happened, or we could recycle it and get rid of it and stop spending the energy around that task. while we're developing that, finding what motivates you, right? Don't you get things done better when you are motivated to get things done? Say you're going out for a walk. Isn't it it's easier to go for a walk when it's really nice outside? That motivates you. So find other ways that motivates you to go for a walk. So maybe it's really cold and frigid outside and you're not really into the cold or bundling up. What are other ways that will motivate you to get movement into your day? Find what motivates you. So when you're creating that task list, how does it make you feel? How does that make you feel around it? So what motivates you? Then it's creating that action plan, creating that roadmap that's going to get you there. While you're creating that, capture the time. How much time is this going to take me? I think a lot of times when we do the planning, or when I do the planning and I come up with my list, this is a big part that a lot of my clients miss. They want to get all this stuff done, but they haven't allotted the right amount of time to actually get all that done. So then what ends up happening, they go back to the overwhelm and they get paralyzed and they hesitate, and then procrastination sets in, and then guess what? Nothing happens. So what we need to do in our planning process is how much time do we need to actually get this task done? So we could block that out. Capture it. Capture it. Does anyone have any questions, or am I resonating with you? If so, give me some thumbs ups or some hearts so that I know that you're here and that I'm on the right track for you. Because when I create these Facebook Lives, I really think about what I need in my life, because I'm basically my ideal client, right? And I want to share that with you, or what my clients have come up with, and the areas that they need help around. So this topic came really dear to my heart and a couple of my clients over the past couple of weeks because of the time of year it is. So I figured I'd share some tips with you. So once you map it out and you figure out what time frame you need to get that task done, then look at your list and decide what is the hardest thing to get done. Let's get that done first. Because in the beginning of a project, we have the most energy in the beginning. So let's tackle the thing that's the hardest when we have the most energy around it. This way, the smaller things could be done later. And the other thing is if I find that when we do the small things first, our mindset is in a small task mindset. And it's harder to shift to a bigger mindset. And that's what stalls or procrastinates the end of that project. So start with the big first and then work your way into the smaller items. When you're mapping out, I want to go back to that. When you're mapping out, make sure you have a notebook or something that you could use on a regular basis. So it's interesting. So I have a content notebook. So whenever I do any kind of brain dumping around content or things to do with my business, I use it, and I use it in one space. Once I've downloaded all of the stuff in one space, then I transfer it over to my planner, and then it's there in actionable items to make happen. So nothing actually falls through the cracks, okay? So this way, no matter if it's something that you want to get done 6 months from now, a task you want to complete 6 months from now, you have it already out there. But get it out of your brain and put it down, and then create the plan around it. If you're feeling overwhelmed during a project, and you're looking at the project and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get to the end of this. It's just taking up too much time, or there's a lot of repetition in this, and I'm losing my energy and my motivation around it. Try to remind yourself what motivated you from the beginning, why you started it. Go back to the why. But the other thing is give yourself the opportunity to take a break. Listen to your gut. If you're feeling tired and overwhelmed or bored around it, it's time to take a break and walk away from it. Especially if, say you're working in an office on a project, it's okay. Get up, walk away from your desk, get out of your office, walk around. Get release that. Sit quietly. Listen to yourself and just a couple of deep breaths to refocus, okay? So it's okay to give yourself that permission to walk away from it and reflect later on the why you got it started, so you could re-energize yourself, so you could get to the finish line. And when you get to the finish line, how exciting it is, because you've already established how you're going to celebrate when you get there. So so not only do you have that motivation in the beginning to get started, but you've already set the expectation and the result of what you want at the end, so you could celebrate that at the end, okay? And one of the other things that I find that helps me get a task done and own it is having that support around me, right? Not only an accountability person, not an accountability coach like I am with my clients, not that, but somebody on your dream team that could help you through that process. So when you're feeling a little bit off, or you want to share your success, that's even bigger. Oh my goodness, I was able to do this today. Can you believe I got through this? Somebody you could share that with is really, really exciting. And you could share it with yourself by doing your daily journaling. And if you're not one for, excuse me, if you're not one for journaling, because some people may think that it's a little daunting, right? If you're not into journaling, even if you have a book that you could just write one thing down, even a word that's going to really ground you around that completion of that task and how you're going to own it. It's really great. In the Powerful Purpose Planner, at the end of each week, there's a place on the bottom that you could actually write your success down. And then there's also a place that you could align with how are you going to celebrate when you get that task done. So I was talking to a client the other day, and she was feeling a little bit down before she got on the call. And she said, you know what, Pam, I ended up going through my planner. My goal was to reach a certain amount of people last month, in the month of November, and tell them about the business that she started and what she's doing. So when she was feeling like she was a little off and wasn't hitting her mark, she was able to go back and count how many people that she was going to connect with, that her goal was. And her goal was to connect with 20 people in the month of November. And, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And the beautiful thing was, when she went back and revisited all of the areas, she connected with 21 people. So she was one person ahead of her goal, and it allowed her to be aligned with the celebration around that she met her goal and she actually went above her goal. So having a place that you're going to document this stuff is going to help you get forward to the next task or the next thing that you want to do. It also helps you understand what your habit is or what your feeling is around certain things. And that totally goes back to being kind to your brain and understanding that. So when we go through the process, and when you start your 2020 planning, if you haven't already, at least given it a little bit of a thought, download the Roadmap to Sanity, and that's going to help you focus on the one thing that you're going to want in each category inside your life. Then you go to powerful-purpose.com, go under resources and download that. It's a beautiful tool to use in your planning process. Once you get that, then from there, go ahead and get my free ebook on how to, 6 steps to creating a goal. You get that. That's going to help you plan out the first 30 days of 2020. Because face it, we're all really busy, right? And we all have things that we want to accomplish and get done. And even if it's, I want more time in my life that I could relax, it doesn't always have to be something that moves you, elevates you in the sense of more to get done or to have another success point. Your success point might be, I just want to relax. I want to be able to sit back and realize and be aware that it's time for me to shut down and own that's a powerful, it's a superpower to have, especially if you're have an entrepreneurial mindset. It's very hard to shut down. So when you get, that might be something in 2020 that you want to have more time on your calendar for shutdown time, more time to sit silent and listen, more time to engage with your family and your friends, more time to engage with your spiritual being, more time to be in church. I mean, more time to just sit and draw and do hobbies, right? There's so many of those things that are on my roadmap to sanity that I'm going to be planning out each quarter to infuse inside my my life. So owning your tasks and knowing how you feel when you get there, and especially knowing how you feel before you get there, is really important. It's a secret. I would say it's probably one of the secrets to success. So remember, I'm going to just go through these quickly. Set the goal and know how you're going to feel before you set the goal and how you're going to feel after you set the goal. Find out what motivates you and surround yourself more with that motivation. Map it out and have a plan. And not only an action plan, but a time management plan. So you're more successful because you have the clarity and you're capturing it. Reward yourself. What will you do once you complete that? How are you going to feel if you don't complete it? So today it's kind of like both ends, is the positive and the negative. Because when we're in that positive and negative, that truly helps us stay aligned on the straight path of what we want. Do the hard things first. Get the stuff done that's the hardest. So you have, when you have the energy and the excitement around it, then it's an easier shift to the smaller things. If you're feeling overwhelmed and tired and stuck, just walk away. Just walk away from it. Give yourself a break and then come back to it. Because when you come back to it, then all of a sudden you're acting in new energy like you were when you first started. Have the support that you need, right, to engage with you during this process. These are the tips, and I'll recapture them in the notes for you too. Feel free to share this information with people. I really believe that these little Friday planning sessions that I'm coming out and doing, 20 minutes, half an hour, are chock full of tips to help people live within their purpose and not driven by their circumstances, and to truly get things done. That's my goal, okay? Have an amazing, amazing weekend. I hope you're celebrating your week. What a great week you've had, and not a TGIF, but what a great week you had. What is the one success, okay? Stay tuned. Feel free to reach out to me at my email or check out my website at powerful-purpose.com. Sign up for the reminders of when I'm going to be on, or go out to my YouTube channel and subscribe there, and you'll see all these new videos as they're coming. In the meantime, I wish you a blessed holiday season. And until next Friday, or I'll see you on the inside, take care. Bye-bye.